Hi, I'm going to read the story called Merry Christmas, Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake woke up on Christmas Eve to a light snowfall. Hooray, she cried delightedly, a white Christmas. The little redhead had a busy day planned. She was going to bake her special strawberries and cream cookies to give as Christmas gifts. Her friends would love them. As she baked, Strawberry hummed along to Christmas music. The warmth and smell of the cookies made her cafe feel so cozy. Later that afternoon, she packaged the cookies in pretty berry-shaped tins. Something's missing, she thought. Suddenly, she snapped her fingers. Bows! A sparkly bow on each tin would be the perfect finishing touch. Orange Blossom's store would be closing early for the holiday, so Strawberry had to hurry to get some ribbons. I'll be back soon, she called to Cupcake and Custard. Her pets were having fun, getting tangled up in tinsel. The store was crowded when Strawberry arrived. Wow, Orange, it's very busy here, Strawberry commented as she grabbed the last rolls of ribbon. I know, her friend replied, and I'm so hungry. I've kept my store stocked but barely have any food in my own refrigerator. There will be plenty to eat tomorrow, Strawberry told her, waving as she left. Remember, you're coming to the cafe for Christmas brunch. On her walk back home, she poked her head into Lemon Meringue's salon. A berrykin was just walking out with festively polished nails. Lemon was yawning. Strawberry smiled at her sleepy friend. Tired? She asked kindly. Very much so, Lemon replied. And I still have a lot to do. I've wrapped exactly one present so far. Yours. She pointed to a pile of unwrapped presents over in the corner. I'll have to get up early to finish, she continued, rubbing her eyes. I'm sure you'll get everything done, Strawberry assured her. See you tomorrow. After leaving the salon, Strawberry saw Plum Pudding and Cherry Jam talking outside Sweet Beet's studio. Plum was shoveling the walkway in front of her dance studio. Strawberry called out to her friends, Hi, girls. Are you ready for the holiday tomorrow? Yes, but I wish the snow would stop, Plum said. I don't want my dancers to slip and fall right before the town's holiday show. And I'm worried about my animal friends, Cherry added, shivering in the cold. With all this rehearsing for the Christmas concert, I haven't had time to put food out for them. Things will be back to normal soon, Strawberry remarked. I have to get home, but I can't wait to see you for brunch tomorrow. Bye. As she hurried along, Strawberry heard someone call her name. It was Blueberry Muffin standing on the front porch of her bookstore. Step inside and warm up, Blueberry invited her. Okay, but only for a minute. I'm on my way home to finish my Christmas gift, Strawberry told her. She looked around the bookstore. Books were lying everywhere. They were scattered across the floor, stacked on shelves, and piled on the furniture. I know, Blueberry agreed, noticing Strawberry's expression. It's a total mess. I could use some of Santa's elves to help me clean up. Now that sounds like a plan, Strawberry laughed. I'd better get going. I have a lot to do too. Don't forget about brunch tomorrow. Strawberry was almost home when she saw Raspberry Tort walking with her arm full of tiny Christmas stockings. What do you have there, Raspberry? Strawberry asked, catching up to her. Princess Berrykin asked me to sew stockings for all the little berrykins, Raspberry replied. It took weeks. I never even finished decorating my tree because this project took so long. Maybe you can do it when you get back home, Strawberry suggested. Who knows when that will be, Raspberry grinned. I have a lot of little stockings to hang around the Berrykin village tonight. Well, have fun. I'll see you tomorrow, Strawberry said as she continued on her way. Strawberry was so happy to finally get back to her house until she walked through the front door and saw what Cupcake and Custard were up to. Oh no, she cried and rushed inside. Her pets were lying under the Christmas tree with their whiskers full of crumbs. The cookie tins were almost empty. Cupcake and Custard had eaten all the cookies. Strawberry's gifts for her friends were ruined, and now she didn't have enough time for the ingredients to bake and any more cookies. Strawberry slumped into a chair. What am I going to do now? She wondered. Pupcake and Custard came over and nuzzled Strawberry's legs. It was hard to be mad at them when they looked so sorry. I know Christmas means more than giving just presents, but I really wanted to do something nice for my friend, she said as she comforted her pets. But then a wonderful idea began forming in her head. Come on, Pupcake and Custard. We have a lot to do, Strawberry said, jumping up excitedly. We might not have cookies, but we can still make it a sweet holiday for our friends. After the sun set over Berry Bitty City, Strawberry slipped on a bright red coat trimmed with a white fur and laced up a pair of her warm boots. She put some reindeer earmuffs on Pupcake and Custard, harnessed them to a sleigh, and carefully placed a packed green sack on top of it. I think we're ready. Let's go. Strawberry went to Orange Blossom's house first. She quietly let herself in the front door and tiptoed to the kitchen. Then she reached into the green sack and pulled out a loaf of homemade bread, a bunch of grapes, a hunk of cheese, and a carton of milk. She quickly placed them in Orange's nearly empty refrigerator and tied a red bow to the door handle with a sign that said, "Merry Christmas." Next, she headed to Lemon's house. Using the scissors, tape, and wrapping paper that she had brought along in her sled, Strawberry neatly wrapped and labeled her friends' gifts. After she finished wrapping, Pupcake and Custard pushed the gifts under the Christmas tree. Then Strawberry made her way to Plum's studio. Plum had been right. The snow really had piled up. Strawberry grabbed a shovel from the green sack and cleared a pathway to the front door. Pupcake and Custard helped too. After that, she moved on to Cherry Jam's house. Strawberry retrieved a big bag of birdseed from the sack and filled the feeders hanging around Cherry's yard. She strung popcorn and draped it over the bushes. Finally, she hung some pine cones covered in peanut butter from the branches of a large evergreen tree and sprinkled nuts all over the ground. At Raspberry's house, Strawberry pulled out a red and green garlands, candy canes, and ornaments from her sack. Strawberry and her pets worked together to decorate her friend's Christmas tree. The last place Strawberry stopped was Blueberry's bookstore. She shelved all the books that were laying around. By the time she put the last one in its proper place, she was yawning. "Come on, Pupcake and Custard. It's time to go home." "Our work here is done," Strawberry whispered to her pets. They sped home, and a short time later, all three tumbled exhaustedly into bed. The next day, Strawberry was putting the finishing touches on brunch when her cafe door swung open. "Merry Christmas," she called out to her friends. But her friends didn't even respond. Instead, they ran over to Strawberry and threw their arms around her. "Thank you, Strawberry." "For what?" Strawberry giggled mischievously. Her cheeks blushed a pretty pink. "You know why. For filling my fridge," Orange cried. "And wrapping my gifts," Lemon added. "I was so happy that I didn't have to shovel again," Plum confessed. "You fed my animals friends for me," Cherry chimed in. "I love my tree," Raspberry raved. "My store looks great," Blueberry bubbled gratefully. "We couldn't have asked for nicer gifts," Plum said, putting an arm around her friend. "I'm so glad you like what I did," Strawberry remarked. "I thought you might be disappointed that I didn't have actual presents for you to open." "But Strawberry, you showed us how much you love us with all the nice things you did," Cherry told her friend. "That's the very best gifts of all." "And being together today makes this the merriest Christmas of all," Strawberry said. "Merry Christmas, friends. Merry Christmas, Strawberry Shortcake." The end. Thank you.